So stick with us today and we'll show you how we're going to change and do ceiling in here, but it's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. All right, we figured out what we're going to do for a ceiling now in here. So we're actually going to use this as the tarp we're going to end up using for this. It's actually one of those big billboard tarps that you've seen. But before we do that, I got to get a couple things taken care of. Like that pipe is hanging down and this wire. So we got to get that done. I don't have a very big hole saw. So this one here, I can go through the 2x4 and it gives me just enough that I get the tip, you know, this side here pointing out the other side, so that way I can line up my hole and come from the other side. So that's what you just saw me do, go through that one. So now I have one done, I want to actually go through and make sure that these are all aligned straight, so that way when I put my pipe in, it's straight and I don't have to try to wiggle it to get through everything. But now what I'm going to do is actually go through and do a sight line down through, so that way I can follow the line and I'm set to go. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that and get that all set up, and then we'll come back to drilling. All right, we got the first hole done here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go off of this one. So the next one here, we're going to go ahead and I mark up 3 inches, and then that's where I put my line. That way I know where that's going to be the center of my hole. Well, that wasn't planned. My actual bit that's in the middle of it came out and got stuck in the wood. So now I gotta let this cool down because it's really hot, and then I can continue. Yeah, as with anything, a simple, quick little tightening up the blade wasn't really the case. It was actually the little set screw was stripped out, so it wasn't going in all the way, so I had to get that out. Then I had to basically tap the screw hole so that, because the threads were messed up. So it was actually an ordeal, but now we're ready to go back to drilling. All right, it happened again where the bit came out of the hole saw. So now I don't have the bit in there anymore. So we're gonna go back and rethink this. So once I'm ready to put the pipe in, I'll be back. All right, I got my holes drilled, and I actually went ahead and I cut this line. This is supposed to be a vent line. It's not even supposed to have water in it, but surprise, surprise, it actually had quite a bit of water in it. So I caught most of it in the bucket, but you can see not all of it. So now we're gonna go ahead and keep removing the old pipe. Anyway, we got this all on now. You can see the pipe is all up through here. It's actually up in now instead of hanging down below. So we did put a piece across, reconnect it, and we did the same thing here. You can see the little splice, and that's just so we can get it through the floor joist. Now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get all the mess cleaned up, and so that way I'm not tripping over everything. So what I have is I have my meter, and it has a setting on it, so that way it tests if there's any voltage there. So when I clip it on the wire here, which you can see is this one, this is the one that goes to our mini split. So I know now I turn the power off to that over there. So when the power is on, what it does is we'll go here, the power cord for the light. You can hear it beeping. So when the power gets turned off, it'll actually stop doing that, and it lets me know that I got the right wire. So we went ahead and did that. So I got the power turned off to that. Now I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna cut it, put it through the floor, and rejoin it. Now we got that all run. So we got these here ready to go. I just got to get my box now and get those mounted. All right, you saw me just get that all done and wired up. Here's what it looks like up close. So you can see everything in there is pretty good. I got the cover here the right size. This has a receptacle, so I'm going to stop at the store and get another box cover. Then we'll call this finished up And now that was the last thing I had hanging down below the floor joists. So now we can actually get started with the tarp. Went around and got all the things that were hanging down a little bit below the floor joists. Like this box here was actually down a little bit below the level of the joist, and I wanted everything up above. So the only thing that's still actually above it a little bit is there's a receptacle down there. I did bring that down, so that way that's gonna stick out. But other than that, I went through and reinstalled insulation on all of the, between all the joists in here, so that way it's more for sound deadening than it is for anything else. So now the next step is I'm gonna bring the lights down and we're gonna get the tarp going. And you can see I got the tarp sitting here and I got some stuff ready to go. But you have to come back and see how we put this up. Hey, if you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. They greatly do help the channel. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And click that bell so that way you can be notified when new ones come out.